All right. Hey, everybody. What's going on? Dace here. And today we are hitting up another episode of Meet the Player. And today I have the pleasure of being joined by TropicalBits from STG Cult on YouTube. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me, man. This
Yeah.
is this is great. It's a pleasure to finally have this kind of conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I think we've known each other probably for like it's got to be like a couple years or something at this point, just
Yeah.
checking out each other's videos and stuff like that. But it's always nice just doing like a face to face chat and all that. So yeah, I would love to just hear how you first got into the genre, like whether it was like you saw someone else playing a shmup or you just happened to get one at one point when you were younger, or whatever the situation was. How did that start off for you?
Well, I'm old, so I remember playing. There's a lot of backstory here. When I got in shmups, I didn't know I was into it. That makes sense. So the first remember that I got regarding shooters was when I was a kid. I was playing this game on. It was a Famicom clone system that was pretty popular in Latin American. So if there's a Latin American people hearing this, they will feel familiar with it because a lot of clones were around and they got games incorporated in the system. So I remember playing this game. It was horizontal, and the chip it just turns into a robot, like a robot, and that's like that remember I remember that like so fresh. And when I was a grow up, it was like, all right, what was that game about? I mean, I'm telling you, like when I was like 18, 19, I was like, I remember that game, but I don't know what that game is. So I started looking for that game, and and then I figured out it was Macross on the Famicom, which is
Nice.
like really old and weird, and it's not a great game, but for an 8-bit system and everything was like it was a huge thing for me. So I remember playing that and playing Star Soldier and playing uh what is this name? I don't know. Like Galaxian and a bunch of 8-bit shooters on the system. I don't know why I like those since the beginning, but I remember those. I mean, I remember that being a kid, like really kid, really young, and so I started looking for those games, and then I was just collecting games like regular stuff, like the stuff that you play as a kid, like Super Mario Bros. And all that.
Hmm.
And I started thinking like, all right, so now that I know Macross on Famicom, what else that I'm missing? What other shooters I'm missing? So start collecting shooters on every system that I own, and I want to know like I back in the day it was like really cheap to collect any kind of games you want to. Um, so it was easy for me like saying, all right, I want to grab every single shooter on the Super Nintendo, for example.
Yeah.
And I did that, and I was testing out the games. I was like, oh, I like this better, and I don't care about this one much, but I already have the game. That's fine. I will keep it. So that's how I got into the genre. And then when I got into the Genesis system, I mean, the great shooters on the Genesis is it is unreal. So that's where I got like I gotta say like serious about. All right, I want to try to once you see this game. I remember Musha. Musha's one of my favorite games on the system,
Hmm.
and I play a lot of it. So I got serious on that one, and then I start like, all right, what other systems did I miss? Because we never get that in Latin America, for example, like the Saturn. We got the Saturn, but the American version, and it wasn't really popular or anything. So, all right, so I was like looking overseas. All right, what the people in Japan got, and start looking for that kind of information, like looking for games, looking for shooters. Like I just got deep into the general, like looking for information. Um, and that's how it started. I mean, I I've been playing that shit like for. I'm sorry, just cursed. Can I
Yeah.
talk like that here?
No worries. I
um,
normally tell people not to like just go crazy with it or anything like that, but it's all good.
yeah. Hmm. But yeah, I started playing shooters like a lot. Um, and I found out like that's my thing. I mean, that's what I like. Like seriously, I just keep playing the same stuff over and over and over, and I'm not tired of it. Randomly, I just play Musha, and I have a blast. It's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
like this game. Still playing it, and I don't know how many times I beat it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why I got like serious. Like, all right, I'm gonna sell a bunch of stuff I don't care anymore, and I will just keep trying to get the stuff that I do care. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
my that's how I get into this thing.
That's amazing. And that's a perfect way to lead into my next question, is just like, what do you think it was about these games specifically that just gripped you and pulled you in to the point where you were just like, okay, I don't care about other stuff so much because shmups are just like, these arcade shooters are just so awesome? Or yeah, like, what did you know at that point what it was about these games, or did that kind of come later?
Well, it came actually like recently when I got like pretty much like all in on this thing, and but back in the day, it was like I just like the games, like that kind
Mm-hmm.
of games. I like platformers. There are some couple RPGs I like too. Um, but I noticed that I never return to those games. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's a couple platformers that I do, like I don't know, Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario World and this kind of stuff. There is more like nostalgia or running guns that I do care, but it's like I can count those with my hand. It's like I'm not very like very passionate about. But shooters, there's always a thing that I'm curious about. Like, is if there's a new shooter, I really want to test it out, like
Yeah.
to see what it is. If there's something new, if it is something familiar to another game, if it is related, if you use the same mechanic from an old game. I mean, that kind of stuff. It is always in my head. That is not on the other genres, basically. So when I start like playing the old shooters, for me, there's like two sections here. Like when I played old shooters on consoles, and when I start playing on the arcade and this new cave like bullet hell kind of shooters. Before it was like I was casual. I wasn't like really hardcore until I got on the Genesis. Like, and it was more like on the Genesis, I noticed that I appreciate or enjoy more vertical shooters than horizontal. So that's the thing. I enjoy like playing vertical over horizontal. I'm not very good at it. I don't even try. I don't even care. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
don't feel anything. But um but yeah, I got to playing those the like all the memo and all this stuff. Back in the day, we never noticed. I mean, we just play the games
Yeah.
like
Just
it's
see
what
what
it is. It's
happens.
art type.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's art type.
Yeah.
You have to memorize everything. That's how it is. So I like that kind of like play back in the day. I'm not doing that like a lot anymore. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
the time. That's what I noticed. Like, yeah, this is the stuff that I want to play probably for the rest of my life. Basically, is like I just have like in an hour or two to play some stuff.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can do. Um, so if I get an arcade, I'm gonna play an arcade for an hour. And playing an arcade for an hour is a lot. I mean, your mind will be like, all right, that's enough. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going to the gym. You go to the gym for an hour, it's good. That's all. That's all you need. Um, so that's what I appreciate about those games. It's like even though you spend a lot of time playing the games all over and over, you can do short sessions, which
Yeah.
is amazing to me. I mean, I don't have to grind 6 hours straight up. I can do it, but definitely I can split that within a week, and it will get the same results. I don't know. It's kind of a weird how those kind of arcade or shooters or that kind of stuff works and fits better for my lifestyle right now. I mean, I'm sure you do the same thing. It's like we don't have a lot of time to keep playing games. It is not healthy at all. Like keep playing for 10 hours straight.
Oh God.
So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Imagine that playing. I don't know. Just name a game, whatever game it is. If it is an RPG or a shooter, playing. Imagine playing a shooter for 10 hours. Jesus, I don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
I definitely have a limit. I like that you bring up just what you mentioned about just being able to chip away at things, and I think that's something that I find really rewarding about the this genre specifically. And I haven't noticed that in other genres, uh, and if I have, it hasn't been to the degree that shmups kind of like provide that experience where you have a long-term goal. Like a game can be 15 minutes from start to finish, but it could take like 100 hours to
Hmm.
master that game. And it's just bonkers thinking about the time investment that goes into some of these games, and yet you never get sick of it. Like it's nothing but a blast. You always feel this momentum, like improvement, like all these like aha
Hmm.
moments where you're finally figuring something out or you're just seeing the improvement. And it's just incredible to be in a game like that, or games. um, and
Agree.
yeah, and like you said, you can just kind of slip in little sessions here and there because life gets busy and you don't necessarily want to be sitting around for hours, or needing to, for that matter either. So
Yeah.
yeah. So another thing or a couple things I'm wondering about, did you have a favorite game in the past, like a favorite shooter, and how has that shifted to like maybe what some of your favorites are these days?
That's a hard question for me, and I'm always thinking about what is my favorite shooter, and I can never get an answer. It will depend on the system. Definitely,
Yeah.
I have a favorite on each system. Um, and for me, there's a turning point on when I find out about Donpatch or Donpachi on PS1. Um, I never heard about that game, and when I did, it was like everything changed to me. I mean,
Yeah.
that was my first interaction with what we call like in a bullet hell or something like that. It was like this is different. I mean, you got the focus shot, you got the rapid shot, you got the bombs, you got like everything maximized, and like let's get at the time it was a lot of bullets. Right now it's nothing. If you play down patch, it's like you're missing a lot of bullets actually. But at the time it was like Jesus, this is intense,
Yeah.
and that level of intensity was not. I cannot find that on. I don't know. I was gonna say R type. I play a lot of. I would refer to R type a lot because I had a hard time playing Super R Type 3 on Super Nintendo, and I hate it. I mean, I love the game. I appreciate the graphics and all that. Music is great. Everything is great, but it's so memo heavy.
Yeah.
It was exhausting
Yeah, it's
just
just a
to
slog.
Jesus. It was like, oh my God. It's a great game, but it is hard to get into it. I'm quite sure once you memorize everything, it will be easier in the next runs. But when I was learning the game, it was really hard. So if I compare like what was like R type style, was gonna say, to Dome Patch, for me was like, all right, this is refreshing. This is a whole new stuff.
Yeah.
Even trying to compare with Musha, it's like, all right, this is totally different. Musha, it's amazing. It's a great vertical, but Dome Patch to me, there's a lot of nostalgia for me on Dome Patch because changed the whole mindset for me on the shooter genre. For me, it was like this is the new stuff. This is where we're going.
Yeah.
Um, Before that, I played Rekka. Have you played Rekka on the NES or the Famicom?
No, I haven't.
All right, so you will love it. Rekka is definitely the best game on the system on the 8-bit era.
Hmm.
It is created by Jagawa, the same guy that did Battle Garega and
Oh,
that
crazy.
did Ibarra. Yeah, so you will notice the early mechanics that he came from late on the later games. But at the time when I discover Reka, for me that's the best game on the system, hands down. It is just amazing, like how fast, how many bullets and everything. And again, that changed the mindset for me. It's like holy crap, this is something I never expected because on the system when I play 8-bit shooters, it's like really like low pace and it is, I don't know, like it's not very intense.
Yeah.
But when you play Rekka, it is super intense. So I felt the same thing with Dompatch. It's like, all right, this is where I feel something else on this kind of playing game like I don't know if I don't know if I'm making myself clear, but it's like I know you asked me for the favorite game. It's kind of hard to actually answer that question, but
It's
I'm
all
trying to
good.
explain why I have nostalgia on a couple games. Those are the favorite to me, but the other games is not like they're not like good. They are, but I don't feel any kind of I don't know excitement when I'm playing it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that happened to you. Like if you're playing a shooter, it's like, all right, this is a good shooter, that's fine, but I'm not feeling anything else.
Yeah.
And at the
No,
time, those games like did it to me.
yeah, I totally hear that. There are plenty of games where like it's neat to check out, or if I do go for like the full clear, it's like okay, like I did it and that's cool. It's a neat game, but it's not like there's a passion there for that.
Hmm.
I think that comes when you just really click with a game's mechanics or the action or whatever the case is, and you go all out. Like I couldn't tell you like how many hours I put into Gunnail just because I love that game. That's one of my most played games ever. Even though it's like a very short game, but there was just something about it that I just absolutely love. Whereas other games might look better, play better to some people, but like, yeah, if you don't mesh with it, then it's not going to matter. It's just like you play it and then it's like, oh, okay, cool.
That's great. I mean, so you will say that's your favorite shooter?
For retro shmups, Gunnail is definitely my favorite. Yeah.
Wow, that's yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
different.
Gunnail is amazing. Yeah, it's total different. I mean, Gunnail is amazing, but it is hard. There's a couple flaws there that you will see, like the shield mechanic and all that. Jesus, but it's a great game. It's really fun.
Yeah, it is. Um, so another thing I would like to hear your thoughts on is, and this can either be from when you first got into the games or currently or both, but what were some of your biggest challenges in these games? If it was like maybe like using bombs, like took a lot of getting used to, or just trajectories for enemy bullets, like what was the biggest issue?
Um, well, for the first thing is memo, like memorization on the stuff at the beginning can be intimidating.
Yeah,
That makes sense. So you will not expect a bullet or an enemy that will kill you. So that's frustrating at the beginning. So you have to do it all over again.
yeah,
So that's memo. It is always challenging. Like trying to route a game when you start like trying to do one CCs on bullet hells and all that. There are some games that need heavy routing
hmm,
than others.
oh yeah,
So that portion is really annoying to me. I mean, what I love about cave games is being able to just improvise
totally,
in when I'm playing. So I'm playing. I don't know what I'm doing. I see a pattern. I say like, all right, I will try to make it, and it is great when you do it. If not, it's fine. But when you're trying to clear it, it's like, all right, I need to route this stuff because there's no other way that I can move. Like there's no way to improvise that.
yeah,
So routing is always challenging to me. I don't when I have the time, I can put the effort on doing that, but sometimes I don't have the time. I just want to spend 30 minutes playing, and I don't want to be frustrated on getting the routes and all that. That's like him like playing to clear is totally different to play just to have fun.
hmm,
I don't know if that makes sense, but it's
yeah,
like
absolutely,
when I'm trying to play like grinding and all that, it's not a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun where you're trying full runs and clear the game. That's great. But the intern between that, between the first interaction and when you clear the game, it's kind of annoying at some point when you don't have the time and you have to deal with it and you want to be done with it. So yeah, I mean, cave games are really hard. All of them, even the easiest ones. It will take you some time, an hour or two, whatever you can make it. But for me, the old games are much harder because of the memorization and the routing. So
yeah,
it will
and
depend.
yeah, totally, and that's another thing too. Like there have been some games that are almost purely like route based with the memo and everything like that. And I've gotten into some, but I think it's one of those things again where you have to click with the game if you're going to be able to maintain the interest and the excitement to actually push through that kind of workload. Because like when I think
Hmm.
about R Type, it's like I get what it did for the genre way back in the day, but like I have no interest in learning those games to clear them or anything
Agree.
like that. It's just like on the other hand, when I did Devil Engine, for instance, that's super memo heavy in my opinion, but it was
This is
like
really hard.
I loved it and I pushed through. And but certain games it's just, yeah, I don't even want to bother.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it is. Don't happen to you like when you start a game and you put like X amount of hours, and then you're done with it, but you it's like I don't want to keep playing, but I know. I mean, I want to finish it up because I don't want to start all over again later on.
Yeah.
So when you like when you're not having that kind of like a lot of fun with the game, but you just want to get over with it. It's like I just want to clear the game and never play it again. That's what it is like. That's the there's not a lot of fun in that. Um, but it is necessary, I guess. It's like imagine doing that. I mean, starting over that game that you don't have a blast all over again just to clear it. That's annoying. So it is amazing when the game clicked to you.
Yeah.
I will just refer to this game, Pink Sweets Arrange, that I've been playing. I was like surprised how much fun I was getting out of the game. I mean, I didn't expect that at all. Normally, I just hated the game because it was really hard at the beginning. I didn't understand anything, and then I started like playing over and over, and I started like having a blast. Like I don't want this game to like I don't want to finish it up.
Yeah.
That's so weird. I don't want to clear it. I just want to keep playing. Um, so that is like for me that's not usual. I don't feel that way with every single shooter,
Hmm.
with every single game. Even I mean, I'm sure everybody feels the same way. It's like if you're starting an RPG, no, a lot of them will like engage you the same way as other does. Like I don't know, everybody loves Zelda. I don't care about Zelda, so it's
Yeah.
for some people will like feel that way. Like yeah, I really like the game. I keep playing it forever, and for others will be like, all right, I just want to finish it up and never touch it again. I don't. So it is kind of a weird like trying to clear the game in this genre is like a lot of grinding, a lot of I don't know at what point you will determine like, all right, I'm done with this game. I don't care if I clear it, and or you want to keep playing it until you do and never touch it again. I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a point, and I would imagine every shmup player goes through this to one degree or another, where like you've been in the experience for what feels like just a long time, like almost eternity, and like you're so close, and you're just like, I at this point I just want it off my plate. I just like
Yeah,
want to be
exactly.
free. Like I want these chains off. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
you
hear
don't
you.
want to give up because like you've put all of this time and you have
Yeah,
you've
exactly.
improved so much, and it's like you're right there. You just have to push through that last sliver of like the TLB's health or whatever. But
Yeah,
sometimes like that is when it feels the toughest. But
I
yeah.
agree. Yeah. I mean, it is. You feel exhausted, like mentally. Like
Oh yeah.
imagine getting to the game, like you just want to get over with it, and there's where there's not a lot of fun with it. It's like I just want this game like to be over,
Yeah.
so I have to put the hours. It's like I have to go there and do it.
Exactly.
So it is like going to work. I don't know. It's really weird.
So another thing, do you have a favorite mechanic or even like a couple mechanics that like out of whether it's like old style games or newer bullet hell style, like what speaks to you the most? What do you have the most fun with using?
For me, it is what Cave did with three buttons, like the third one being the rapid shot, the
Hmm.
middle one being the bomb, and the first one being like focus shot. For me, that mechanic is clever.
Oh yeah.
It applies. I mean, if I have that in the mindset, I can just like take whatever game, like I will expect that to be the norm right now. It's
Yeah.
like I want a rapid shot, I want a focus shot, and I want a bomb. That's it.
Yep.
So for me, that was clever. Back in the day, playing like Truxton or like old games that you have to match the button is like, oh, that's hell. I mean, at some point, it's like I hate that. Um, So rapid shot is definitely one mechanic that should be implemented. I mean, in every single shooter now. Um, I don't want my hand to be like hurting because I'm smashing button too much or trying to do it like fast enough to kill an enemy or something like that. Is
Yeah.
nah. I'm done with that. I'm not young anymore. So yeah, that mechanic for me is like mandatory. But there's a lot of clever mechanics. I will say Rekka for me is play that game. It is amazing, like how Jagawa implemented like the barrier or the shield when there's a lot of bullets in the screen. That's clever, and you will see that on Pink Suites, which is really fun. That probably that's why I have a blast. Is like that mechanic is like in a strategy game. It changed the mindset. It's not like just trying to dodge bullets. It's more like when I want to use a shield and when I want to shoot an enemy. It's like you have to think like strategic. Like, all right, I want to make points here. I want to destroy this enemy. I want to do this and that. So it's not just dodging, which to me, dodge is it's a good mechanic. Back in the day, it was different because it was more about a lot of enemies in the screen, not a
Hmm.
lot of bullets. So you don't have to dodge the enemies; you have to kill the enemies. And I know a lot of people actually do not like bullet hells because they just feel like they're just going on the screen, dodging, like doing nothing basically.
Yeah.
And I had that conversation with them. It's kind of a it's really interesting how they feel about those games because back in the day, like I don't know, Kill Tiger, you just had like bullets, but you have a lot of enemies on the screen, so you just kill all the enemies, and that's how you feel like you're having fun. Which I don't know, it's definitely hard to move on from the old school gaming to the new school in this kind of genre, like old school shooters to new school shooters, because of the mechanics being implemented on the new school shooters
Yeah.
and the type of gaming doing back in the day is definitely different. But yeah, those mechanics, the rapid shot for me is vital now. Is vital.
Oh yeah. And I think for me, like one of my favorite things, which I could have it in every game ever, and I would never get sick of it, is just having the focus shot, just being able to slow your movement down
Right?
and
Yeah.
concentrate your firepower. Like to me, that's just absolutely incredible. It's just so much fun. It's so effective. You can just do a lot of interesting things with that and just have greater control because I find like a lot of the time with the movement and different games, like it's so easy to just overshoot your movements and things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas when you can just slow yourself down, it feels so much more like you're in control. And so I think when I first played Danmaku Unlimited 3, that was my first experience with the just like the slower speed when you're in your focus shot,
Mhm.
and it was just like, man, that is so awesome. And
Right.
yeah, it was just
It's a
incredible.
great feeling. I felt that with Don Patch. That's why
Yeah,
it changed my mindset at the time. It was like it does a lot of things right for me back then. It was like that thing about the focus shot, rapid shot, bomb, the power up system. Everything was like this is clever. This is where we're going. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
this is an improvement. I
totally.
mean, yeah. So I hear you. I mean, I'm that's vital now. I mean, I do not enjoy games that don't have that basic mechanics. I don't normally I don't enjoy those. And now that I think of like canceling bullets,
Hmm.
that's amazing
Oh my
too.
god,
That's a
yeah,
great mechanic. I
yeah,
mean, it pushes you to core more because you want to cancel those bullets. So you want more bullets on the screen to get more points. Dude, that whoever that came with that idea is just a
genius,
genius.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It give you so much like you feel so good like seeing all those bullets and canceling those in the right time, giving you more points. It's like, yes, this is how it's supposed to be. It's like it's a great reward. I don't know, great mechanic. Whoever that did it is a master on this thing.
Yeah, that's definitely something I love too. Um,
Yeah.
so let's jump into what some of your greatest achievements have been, like just the one that like the clears or the things you've done where you feel like, wow, I'm super proud of having done this. I
I
know
don't
you have a lot of clears, like so.
I don't to be honest, Days, I don't care about the clears. Uh, it's good to have a clear and all that, but I don't do anything impressive. Everybody can do that. Everybody can do the clears. I mean, I'm not just saying like I'm proud about clearing, I don't know, Ketsui and all that. I'm not I don't care about that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's fine. I had a lot of fun, but I guess what I'm proud of is being consistent on playing the stuff, even though I'm not having a like much fun at some point. So I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of like being disciplined on. I really want to clear this game, so I will do whatever it
yeah,
takes to do it.
definitely.
Um, I'm definitely proud of having friends like around this passion. Like I'm really happy about that. I'm really happy about like going to another country and actually having this conversation with you based on a passion that we have in common. I'm proud of that. I mean, I don't care much if I clear a game or two or whatever. If somebody does, I mean, there's always a people that will be better than you on everything that you do. So it is great that you achieve something.
Yeah,
But I'm always down to earth. Like I'm not a great player. I'm far from it. But at least I have a blast, and I will try to clear a game. I will try to be disciplined on the goals that I want to achieve.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, what I'm proud, like really proud about, is like being part of the community and being able to have friends around the world just based on a passion, which is it is unreal to me. I mean, if I think about it, I'm from a really small country, like really far from everybody.
hmm,
So um, what is impressive of me is bunch of friends come down to my country just to have a vacation, and we can meet and we can play in my room and all that. Is just thinking about it blows my mind. It's like how far like in a friendship and a passion can go, just starting from something really small, like talking about a video game.
yeah,
Do you think about that? Is like something really small, like talking about shooters. It's like it will give you um like in a I don't know, like in a whole new opportunity about I gonna go to another country and never thought about it, and being able to have a dinner with my friend and all that is for me it goes beyond the limit on just having a small conversation like video game,
yeah,
which is that's what I'm proud of.
yeah. I totally hear that. Like for me, like I view shmups like as I've talked about before in other like videos I've done, just how like there's obviously like a very social aspect to shmups, but at the end of the day it's like a very personal journey that you go through
Hmm.
with these games. And like yeah, it's great clearing games, but I think the important thing and like the drive that I have for like when I'm in a situation where like I know something is really difficult, and I just say like, you know what, I'm not giving up. Like there's no way I'm turning back from this. Like I just have to push
Hmm.
forward.
Hmm.
It That's something that I'm like proud of, just like that sense of like
Exactly.
yeah, just like pushing and pushing and not giving up, and just achieving whatever the goal may be. Um that's just something pretty powerful because like anyone who has played these games for any amount of time knows that like shmups are just ruthless. They are extraordinarily demanding, and
Hmm.
jumping into them for like if you're a new player or whatever the case is, like it can be very intimidating, and it's just usually an insane time. And so it's yeah, it takes a lot of courage in ways to actually just like devote yourself to clearing a game, or
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
going at it every day and just like putting all the time and energy in and actually thinking about what you
Exactly.
need to do. Like it's a lot of work, but it's
That's
yeah, it's
discipline. That's
rewarding.
discipline, man. That's
Yeah, totally.
it is. It is what I mean. That's what people should be proud of. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter if it is a novice, if it is a
Yeah.
easy game or not. I'm really tired of people saying like, "Oh, that's an easy game," or I don't care. I mean, I don't clear games because they are hard or not. I mean, I don't care about that. I don't care if I don't know. I have a friend that is clearing just easy games or novice or whatever. I do myself. I just want to have fun. Sometimes I play a novice mode. I
Hmm.
have fun with it. I upload it. That's it. And sometimes I'm going for a challenge. That's it. That's life. I mean, I understand like everything is balanced. I mean, I don't want to be the guy playing all the hard games like all over. I don't care about that. I don't think people would be proud of it. If they do, it will be really weird. I don't want to be a friend of that guy. I mean, being like talking with somebody that will say like everything is that you do is easy and everything that he does is much better because he's harder. I don't care about that, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
that's really a really poor conversation. I mean, um, I really enjoy people having a blast with novice modes or easy modes or asking for tips or for me that's what matters. Like having those conversations, being able to um, give feedback, give like being
Definitely.
help to a community. For me, that's what matters. I mean, the clear, yeah. I mean, everybody is looking for a clear. Everybody is looking to have fun with the games, and it doesn't matter if it is easy for you or not, or if it is harder for you or not. That's it will depend on the skill level. It will depend on. For me, it's such a personal thing. It is like sometimes for me, it is something that is easier than others, and sometimes for me like horizontal games for me like seriously I had a like every single time I try to play like horizontal shooter I had a hard time with it,
Yeah.
like really hard. I just hate it. It's like I don't see the bullets. I don't feel it. Some people just feel like for them there it is easier, so it's like
Hmm.
it will depend on each other. It's like that's the great thing about shooters. It's like everybody's on the same boat. Everybody's trying to clear a game that they feel is challenging themselves. So it's like, okay, I'll try to clear this game, and we look for support. We look for help because I'm having a hard time trying to beat it. And that's for me what is great about. Everybody's doing the same stuff. Nobody
Yeah.
is better than others. I don't know if
Exactly.
it is weird. It's everybody should feel the same way. Everybody's on the same boat here, trying to clear a game that they're being challenged with. So why would not help each other on this?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up because like I totally feel the same way. Like I love being able to just share information or help people. Or ever since I got serious about just doing something more with my channel over the last year and a bit, like a lot of people have said like, wow, you really inspired me to do this or that. And it's in ways like for me, like it's a very fulfilling thing to serve in that capacity and just to see how excited people
Hmm.
get. And in ways you just want to do more of that. Like you just want to be more supportive and just help where you can when you know the game, or just be like an encouraging force in people's lives. So it's, yeah, it's great to hear
I
you
agree.
you bring that up. So I think that was like the general like first bunch of questions. I know like we could easily talk about some of your like how you got into like having like PCBs and like whatever machines you have at your place. How did you make the transition from uh, just like home console kind of stuff to bringing in these big beasts that you have in, like I can see in the background?
Yeah. So I started collecting arcade games around like 4 to 5 years ago. Um, I was I was traveling to work, um, and I found this place which is amazing. It's called the Warp Zone in Columbus, Ohio. I love his owner. His name is Darren, and we clicked just immediately. I was at the store and I saw this place full of shooters. You have no idea. It's like heaven. So I went to the store. You will normally will see like I don't know like Donkey Kong Country, like basic stuff, right? Like everybody's looking the same stuff, right? And then I just got in and I saw like a bunch of shooters, like Saturn shooters, like Rika, for example, like stuff that nobody cares about or nobody
Hmm.
even talk. And so I got there. I was really impressed with like the selection that he had in there, and I started talking with the owner. and he had an amazing collection, something impressive. Like at the time, for me, was unreal that somebody will have something like that. Um, but he was getting rid of a bunch of stuff. It was like, all right, I'm done with the collecting scene, and so I will say I took off from there because I didn't want to get into the arcade scene because it is really hmm, I don't how do I say this? Everything can get damaged really fast and easy,
Yeah.
right? So it's really delicate. It's really you have to be really careful about it, right?
Hmm.
And it's really expensive. Is what it is. It has been expensive forever. Um, so I didn't want to get there, and then I met this guy, and then he got me to his home and play the PCBs there. He got a two blast cities, Sega blast cities caps, and that changed everything to me. It was,
Yeah. You were just
I
hooked.
had a lot of fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I had so much fun. I played their Gunnail for the first time. He
Oh,
got the real
nice.
PCB.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wild.
that was the first. It was well. He got crazy stuff, man. He got him. I wish I had the money at the time to buy everything that he had,
Yeah.
but I didn't. But I got a couple. So I got my first PCB from him. He sold me Mars Matrix
Hmm.
because I told him like, all right, I want a PCB, but I really want a cheap one that I can afford. And he gave me a great deal on Mars Matrix, and he gave me a great deal on Battle Back Great, and Dragon Blaze from Psycho. So I first got Mars Matrix, and then I had to learn how to play a PCB on a CRT, basically on television. So I got a super gun. So I got into this new area of the arcade games, right?
Hmm.
Everything was new. Everything was I don't know. I'm that kind of person where I get into something new, I will be like totally obsessive about it. So I'll just get deep into like
Yeah.
what it is, what I'm missing, what I need to look for, blah blah blah. So I got into that. I started looking for PCBs, how to play those PCBs, how to play like bootlegs and all that stuff, and all the games that I was missing. Because at the beginning I was like, I want to play games that I don't have on the consoles. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Sure.
I want to play arcade games only, right? Um, so I did that for a long time, and then I was like, okay, I want to play um, the real versions of those console ports. So I
Yeah.
start. All right, I'm gonna buy Kitsui, for example, and stuff like that, and then it turns into the stuff that I have in the background, which is many PCBs that I don't know why I have that, but I had a lot of fun playing on the arcades. Um, Everything was shifting. Like, okay, I want now to play how I was playing on a real cap.
Hmm.
So that's how like my mind was pushing me to go further. I guess like, okay, I was looking for a cap. Imagine looking for a cap in Costa Rica.
Oh my God.
It's not easy,
Yeah.
and
Where?
that's how I got two caps, like Taiwanese ones. We don't even have like the real Japanese caps. We
Yeah.
don't. I mean, I can tell you, I have a friends now. Like I know they have Japanese caps, but there are two people or three people in this country that have that.
That's
So it's not
crazy.
common,
Yeah.
not common at all.
That's rare.
It is rare. So having like looking for caps in Costa Rica. All right, I found those caps. The caps were in great shape. The monitor was good. Like learning all that stuff. I'm still learning. Like every single day, I'm learning about more about the arcade scene. It is unreal. It is big. But I keep pushing on. I want to play now on a real cap. How it's supposed to be. If I go to a real arcade, this is what I will be having. This is what I will. I mean, I will try to clear a game on a real arcade. So that's why I want to have the same stuff in my home, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So eventually, if I go somewhere, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, totally.
So that's why like going to these events, the Mikado Center in Europe, I feel I don't feel 100% is the same stuff that I have home because I don't have egg rates and I don't have like the joysticks are different and all that. But I'm really close to the feeling like, all right, what is this playing on the cap? So that's how I get into this and how I keep pushing forward to it, which is a never ending stuff, man. I keep looking for arcade PCVs. It is unreal. I mean, it's never stops. I really want to stop like looking for stuff, but there's always stuff that I'm missing that I want to, and
Yeah.
eventually I just get it. So I don't know. It is a crazy journey.
Yeah, it's when I think about like for myself, like I'm only on the Nintendo Switch, so it's not like I really have experience on cabs or
Dude,
anything like that, but if I was ever going to have like a big machine in my place, the thought I had when I was playing Gunnail was like, wow, I love this game so much. This would be the game I want on a machine, like hands down above anything else. Like if I could just have that in a corner, I would just play that like every day. Just the glowing screen, everything else is dark in the room. Just like that would just be
yeah,
amazing. So it's wild that you played it at the your friend's place or whoever it was that like hooked you up.
yeah.
Yeah, just so crazy.
Dude, I wanna say that you're a hero, man, playing all those games on the Switch with the lag and all that. That stuff, that's hard. I don't know if somebody told you that, but it's not an easy stuff. Like normally will people will go to the best port or the real arcade to clear those games, and you're doing that on the Switch. That's impressive, man. Because like playing those IQ games on the Switch, that's not fair. That's not the games are already hard enough to now like put another layer of like like harder just because of the lag and latency and all that. Screw that. I don't want to deal with that. So
well,
you're a hero, man.
well, thanks. Like for me, it's kind of just it's a way to make sure that I'm not spending on new systems or like other systems. I mean,
That's
because
healthier, yeah.
I like when Switch came out, I had gone I think the last almost 20 years not playing on any new systems. PS2 was the last thing I had before Switch. So when I got into Switch, it was like I don't want to spend on five systems and like
hmm
whatever else. It's
hmm
just Switch. So it's kind of just like, well, Switch is my thing, so that's what I'm doing. So if I want to clear a game, then that's pretty much how it's going to go. So it's kind of just out of necessity in a way.
That's impressive, man, because those games are not easy, and playing with that kind of environment that the Switch provides is not optimal. It's not optimal for the game, so that's impressive.
I'm not sure like if is there anything else you would want to get into because like the floor is just as much open for you like I've kind of more or less asked every main question that I had, but like if there's anything you want to get into, and I know you got a bunch of stuff on the go this afternoon, so I don't want to drag this on too long. um
No, that's fine, man. I mean, I really appreciate the space, having this conversation. I hope I made myself clear. I don't speak English. This is my second language, so I'm trying to express myself as I can.
oh,
So
you
I'm
did,
sorry if
yeah,
I'm
no,
not
you
very
did,
clear enough.
you did perfectly, yeah, no worries at all.
And but it was great to have this conversation. I'm really happy when this kind of small talks happen because it helps the community, helps new players, and I'm all about like having people playing this kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
that's all that matters to me. That's the reason why I have that YouTube channel. That's the reason why I have the STG called Discord, and everything is started as Spanish speakers like not having a place to go or not having enough information for them about these games because there's a lot of people that do not speak English
Yeah.
that they play this game. So for me, it was like, okay, I think I can try to. I know there's a lot of players around, so I want to bring those to a point where we can start sharing information in the language that they understand, and they speak English amazing, so we can share like English speaking information. But if not, at least we can start like having this Spanish information or resource and all that. Everything is started like that, like really trying to provide stuff to the Spanish speaking community. And there were already stuff like the Spain community have their own website and stuff like that, but Latin American people do not. So everything is sort of like that, and is that's all that matters to me. Like being able to share the knowledge about the shooters, because I feel like people is missing out. People is not given not giving the general a chance on they play for 5 seconds, they get killed.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, this is too hard
Hmm.
because they just got killed within the initial 10-30 seconds of the game. So people just drop it, and it's not about that. So that's why I actually play novice games and all that and upload those because I want people to see like, all right, I feel good playing a novice mode, and I had a blast. You have no idea how many friends start playing like shooters because of they came my home, and I don't know, like ESP raid novice.
Hmm.
They start playing that. It was like, oh my god, I got farted on this game, and I respect that.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Get in the novice mode, have a blast, and then you will get hooked to keep playing it.
Absolutely.
Um, and that's all that matters to me. I mean, I don't care about the clears. I don't care about anything else. I don't pretend to be like in a public figure or an influencer or like that. I don't care about that. I really don't. It's like I want people like start playing those games because they will feel like as good as I feel too when I'm playing it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I want to share this great feeling that I have with those games. So these small conversations, these kind of chats, I appreciate it. I appreciate the space, man.
Yeah, well, it's amazing to hear that. Like, I had a very similar experience. Just to drag this on for a few more minutes. The whole reason I'm sure some people have heard this like 1,000 times because I've told this story over the years, but like, I had an older YouTube channel, but when I got into shmups, like, it was uh, like a Nintendo Switch variety channel, so I would play everything. But when I got into shmups, like that first channel started just getting flooded with shmup videos because that's all I was putting, and I was like, holy smokes,
Mm.
if I don't just like create a new channel just for shmups, this variety channel will just become like overtaken. And I thought, you know what,
Mhm.
shmups are so incredible. There's something so awesome about these games. Like they need their own place to shine where I can just make that the focus. And that was what it was because I just had this passion that I wanted to share. Not like I even knew much like what I was doing in these games at the time, but like there was just something that really spoke to me that said like, yeah, like this has to be like its own thing that where you just share and are excited about these awesome experiences and just share it with people. So yeah, it's neat hearing what you're doing for the Spanish speaking community, and your channel is definitely like one of the main ones when I think of the Spanish speaking community because uh, yeah, like there aren't that many out there that focus on shmups, so it's always
Mhm.
great to see what you're putting out.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. I really
Yeah.
do.
Well, yeah. Anyway, um, with that, I suppose we can just wrap things up for now. I really, really appreciate you setting aside some time to chat today. So thank you for doing this. It's been awesome just finally connecting face to face. And
Yeah, I
yeah, I look
agree.
forward to maybe doing like another session in the future or whatever we come up with. But
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure. We should do a coffee talk,
I was actually,
dude.
yeah, I was thinking about
I'm from Costa Rica, man. We have one of the greatest coffee in the world.
you
I
got to,
mean, Starbucks sell us our stuff like around the world, so
yeah,
we should
crazy.
do something right here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally. I'm definitely into that idea. So we'll talk and see what we can sort out. Um, but yeah, I
For
want to
sure, man.
thank everyone for watching and listening today. Really appreciate all the support, and I trust everybody enjoyed this chat. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
All right. See ya.